I learned very quickly, don't prank Wesam, because I won't be ready for the prank back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wesam's World. We have breaking news today, something that I was not aware of, but apparently people from Washington do not want people from Idaho to identify as Northwestern, what is it?
The Pacific Northwest?
The Pacific Northwest, and apparently there's some beef going on between Washington people and Idaho people with this. I was not aware of. I was not aware of. What was that?
And Oregon.
And Oregon. Okay, so it's just Washington and Oregon who are part of the Pacific Northwest. Is this correct?
I mean, Idaho does creep in there, but...
Okay, I don't know. You seem pretty adamant that Idaho people should not be belonging in the Pacific Northwest. So we'll get back to that in a little bit. Already making Alexandra nervous. Welcome to another episode of Wesam's World. It's me, your host, Wesam. Thanks for tuning in every Thursday live on Adobe Radio. Oh, man. Sometimes I don't know if this pain in my chest is from my rib or about to have a heart attack. I'm pretty sure because it's been going on for so long, it's just a pain in my rib. So we're just going to stick with that until I go see a doctor.
If I recall, you talked about that pain in your rib on the show before, and it happened after you went to a BJJ class where some guy was a jerk.
Yeah. This was a while ago.
Yeah.
This was actually my first official jiu-jitsu class years and years ago before I even started consistently doing jiu-jitsu. And it was all the way south of downtown. Anyway, the guy went crazy on me. I didn't know what he was doing. It was my first class. I didn't know what was happening. And boom. He did a little twirl thing, got me in an arm bar. I didn't even know what was happening.
Oh, wow.
It was very rude. And I heard my rib go pop. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Ow.
Hurt so bad. Couldn't breathe right for a few weeks.
Ow.
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't go to a doctor then?
Nope, nothing to do. Just hurts. That's what a lot of guys do. That's a guy thing, by the way. Something hurts, we're just going to stay with it till it hurts for a while. And then if it stops hurting after a month, if it starts to stop hurting, then we won't go to see a doctor.
Interesting. I wouldn't have pegged that as like a guy thing in general.
Okay.
I would have pegged it as I don't have money to go waste on a fool's errand. Kind of
A fool's errand. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I can only speak for a guy's perspective.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I can't speak for a woman's perspective.
Yeah,
I'm not a woman.
I've barely ever gone.
I thought you said I'm barely a woman.
Man, I feel like a woman.
We're gonna
Let's go, girls.
We're gonna get flagged on YouTube. We're gonna get the
sound
copyright.
Just like Shania Twain.
We're gonna get a copyright strike. Peyton is out today. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of an accident. Severed his legs.
Yeah.
So we're wishing him a speedy recovery with that. And then also Zeke jumped into a group message with us recently. Do you remember?
Blew up my phone while I was working. I was like, what the heck is going on? And then it was like Zeke going off on a rant. And I was like, I don't have time to read all this.
No. I think we need to address it because for those of you who are new to the show, Zeke was our old intern. And then he ended up being a loser and moving to back to Oklahoma. And then he said this. So I think it was last week where we discussed the incident where Amazon drivers, I believe it was two separate Amazon drivers, they were urinating and defecating in people's yards. So
on the packages.
Yeah, on the packages. That's a big no-no. Yeah. That's a big no-no right there. And so this is what Zeke texts us. If I were an Amazon driver, I would poop and pee in people's yards all the time. First of all, no, you wouldn't, okay? No, you wouldn't. All the time. First of all, you're exaggerating there, and that just annoys me. Second, one time in high school, here we go. He's got a story. One time in high school, me and my friends were vandalizing this girl's house. Oh, all right, great. You admitted to a felony, and I'm saying it on a podcast. This is all jokes, by the way, just so he doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, we're joking.
I don't think I should have said so he doesn't get in trouble part. One time in high school, me and my friends were vandalizing this girl's house because she had vandalized our cars first. And so I squatted over her front door mat and laid a huge pile of turds And then my friend went and got on his hands and knees in front of the pile of poo and started chugging a gallon of milk in order to induce vomiting. And he then puked all over my pile of poo on the front door. Don't worry, though. I brought toilet paper with me to wipe and left my soiled toilet paper scraps there as well. I mean, one of the craziest things in that whole thing is his friend, which, by the way, to be the friend with Zeke, to be like, after Zeke poops on somebody's front door, to be like, I'm going to chug now a gallon of milk and throw up everywhere on it in front of the door. Like, that guy's even crazier than Zeke.
Yeah, because who likes to puke?
Also, why do you have to get on his hands and knees?
So yeah, it kind of made it a little sexual, didn't it? Kind of made it weird. That made it weird. That's a weird vibe.
Very weird, dude. Can you imagine if they didn't see? If they didn't see, but what if the person had a Ring camera and they're seeing this whole thing take place and they're like,
This was probably way before Ring cameras existed.
But can you imagine Zeke's face realizing there's a Ring camera and bro, that would, oh my God, that would make my day. Okay, so let's go back to this. This is what I respond back to that whole thing.
Right.
I hope you get an unexpected bill today. And then he goes on, he was laughing, and he goes, I was justified because she smashed watermelons on our cars and covered them in soil and worms and fish bait. And I'm like, what was going on for her to do this? Was it a prank war or anything? Have you ever done something in a prank war that you've gone too far?
No.
No?
The only prank war thing I did was when I was in a theater show and was a teenager, and we made cookies, and in the middle of them from underneath we put in like salt, just chunks and chunks of salt, so that way when they bit into it, it would be salty.
Okay.
That's the prankiest of pranks I've done.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty vanilla.
Yeah, that's definitely very vanilla compared to what I did for my worst prank ever. Well, there was two.
Wait, Sam.
One of them was...
There's got to be more than two.
I'm talking about the two worst ones I've ever done.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them was this. We'll give a break for the poop, but the other one does have to do with urine, not human urine. So what happened was this. By the way, how are we on time? We're good? Okay. In college, I was a freshman, and so the older seniors wanted to play a prank on me, on like some of the freshmen. So they told me to meet them somewhere on out in public, on the courtyard or somewhere. And basically, I was waiting there, and then they all showed up with douche and Febreze, and they all sprayed me with douche and Febreze. And I was like, oh, this is on. So
worst person to pick.
Right. I went over to a hunting store, and I don't know if you know this, but you can get deer urine.
Yeah.
And deer urine smells terrible. So I got a bottle of deer urine, and I went over to where most of them lived, and they all lived in most of them in one house. So I came over when I knew they wouldn't be there, when they were rehearsing. And one of their roommates was there, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was told to just drop off something at blah blah blah's room." And they're like, "Okay, cool." So they went back into the room, and literally I went through the entire living room, the stairs, and here's where I kind of messed up. I went into one of their bedrooms, and I put it all on the mattress.
Oh.
I put it on the mattress like an idiot, not knowing it was going to soak through.
Right.
And let me just say this. She was not happy.
Yeah, I bet not.
And she was livid with me. And they brought me over to their house, and I thought they was just going to be like, you got us back, right? No, this was a serious conversation they were having with me. And she was upset. She was like, crying a little bit.
Oh.
And she's like, I just bought this mattress and it smells like this. And I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. And then it had soaked through the new mattress. And I was like, okay. So I got industrial strength cat urine cleaner, which our music coordinator at the college actually had because he had a bunch of cats. So he was like, hey, man, I'll help you out. Here you go. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And so thankfully that stuff worked wonders.
Oh, wow.
And it worked
Okay.
on their carpet, everything. And so we all had a good laugh about it. And, I apologized for taking it too far. And then,
Right.
there was no more pranks after that, though.
Mm.
And I'll save the other one till after the Magic Mind sponsor because we might lose it.
Oh, we can take a break right now.
Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Honestly, before I start this, I need my Magic Mind. Please, bring it over. Throw it. Boom. Magic Mind. The lightning strikes again.
He just wants me to do so much work. I couldn't make
I love
you
it.
explode last time because you were talking too much.
Thank you for that. The way you said that was very
No,
aggressive.
just like I did the lightning.
Yeah,
I was very proud of myself.
the lightning was beautiful.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what.
Hmm.
I can't express to you how excited I am to get their max strength
Oh yeah.
Magic Mind.
That'll be really fun.
They heard me. They heard I was taking 2 before jiu-jitsu. And they're like, guys, we can't have him keep drinking so much Magic Mind. Just make it more concentrated.
Right.
And boom, they're
Boom.
going to have that right before jiu-jitsu. I cannot wait. And I'll tell you why. I've noticed something when I take too much caffeine before jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
I don't perform as well.
interesting.
When it's just caffeine by itself,
Yeah.
I don't perform as well. When I take Magic Mind before jiu-jitsu, I perform so much better.
Just a little sharper in your brain.
There's no jitters because of the ingredients they have in there. I get none of that jitters. My blood pressure doesn't spike,
Yeah.
because that happens if you take too much caffeine. Your blood
Yeah.
pressure can, you develop some hypertension. And it doesn't do that for me with the Magic Mind. And I absolutely love it. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but your boy hasn't been sick all year.
That's true. Usually you catch a end of the year cold, beginning of the year something.
Guess what? Magic Mind has that vitamin C and what else does it have? I always forget. The vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B12. Those are like the classics that you
Yeah.
need. And it gives you just the right amount.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that little boost, in case a
Yeah.
germ gets in there, boom, your body's ready. And I think that's why I haven't been sick, to be completely
you
honest. So
taking your vitamins?
yeah, been really, really happy about that. So this become part of my daily mental performance shot, to be
Yeah,
honest.
same. The day and the night.
And you know what's nice? Sometimes I don't want a whole energy drink. Sometimes I just want a little boost. Boom.
Yeah, right?
Just take a little shot. It's
Mhm.
nice. And they're doing another deal for us this month, right?
Yeah, we're still working with them as ambassadors, so you can always go to our link, which is magicmind.com. Wesams with an S, APR.
Wesam's APR.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be silly not to get a subscription at this point.
No, it's over. They're giving it, what, 50% off?
Yeah, it's great.
Almost 50% off the
Yeah.
subscription, which is
48.
incredible. That's a really good
48.
deal on this.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something, and I'm being serious right now. I know we're ambassadors and everything, but I'm a firm believer in this. I truly believe in investing in yourself and your well-being, and health is one of the greatest blessings in the world. If you have some extra cash, invest in yourself, and this is a great company to invest in for that little bit of boost, a little bit of sharpness to make you perform better in all aspects of life.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay. The prank that almost got me, this was the worst one we ever did. Okay, I was a little bit unhinged in high school, believe it or not. I mean, I was any form of freedom I got outside of my house, because my parents were super strict and I always had to work in my family's restaurant. I'm telling you, I would just go crazy.
Yeah.
Now, we got to go on this New York trip in high school if you were in the drama department.
Oh, okay.
And what was cool is for 5 days straight, you would go see Broadway shows.
Oh, that's nice.
It's very nice. And you get to do some tours, and it was like a whole package type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way they break these groups up is usually it's there's a chaperone for every like
5 kids, 6 kids.
Yeah, something like that. Every 5 kids, and you guys would share a hotel room.
Oh, okay.
The kids would. So it's like 4 people to a room, and then you'd have like chaperones who would
Like
be there.
2 queen beds?
Yeah, 2 queen beds, and then like the chaperones would obviously have their own room, or if their kid was there, they'd share a room with their kid, something like that.
Yeah.
And they would have to break you up though into your hotel room groups. And so when they were breaking us up into the groups, they were listing the names. And this is, I'm not joking. They listed my group, which was me, Joey O'Brien, Joel Zimmerman, and Tyler Huffman. Audibly, everybody goes, "Oh, no." And I remember our drama teacher at the time looks at us and goes, "You guys gotta behave." And
Why
we were
did
like,
they put you together if they knew?
I know. So we go, yeah, of course. No, of course we're going to behave. Let me tell you what happened on our first night there.
Oh, no.
Our first night there. We end up seeing a show, and then we go to, like, they were supposed to take us up to the Empire State Building, but it was, like, closed for that night. And they're like, okay, we're all going to take taxis home. And then we're like, oh, we'll walk to the hotel. I know where the hotel's at. It's close by. And our chaperone or whatever thought we were taking a taxi. So, no joke. It's 11 o'clock at night, and we are an hour's walk away from our hotel. I'm telling you this. 4 high school kids, not from New York City, no chaperone. Me, and by the way, not just any high school kids. Me and some of the, like, when I say worst, I mean unhinged idiots. Just, we are idiots. We are screaming through the streets.
Oh, my God.
We are screaming and joking and laughing. We're seeing crackheads walk by. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm about to have a coughing fit. You should keep talking.
You're lucky, I think, that when you went to New York, you went in a time where it was probably a little safer for you to be teenagers being crazy going down the street.
Oh yeah. We saw some sketchy stuff happening.
Uh-huh.
We ended up walking through Times Square somehow, and we're like, oh, we're way far from the hotel. And then finally we get to the hotel. Or we see the hotel. And we see our teacher, our head teacher there, our drama teacher. And he sees us. And we had stopped on the way because I got 2 gyros because I was really hungry. And I had them in my coat pocket. And we're like, hey! And he's been looking for us in New York City for the last hour, stressing out of his mind. He's lost us. And he goes, all of you, wait right there. And we're like, oh, we're in trouble. And, oh, man, we've never heard our teacher curse before. And he just starts dropping F-bombs. Like, are you fucking crazy? And all this stuff. And we're like, oh, yeah, that was actually kind of stupid. And we're like, no, we thought that, like, the taxi cabs were going. And we didn't know. We thought everybody was walking. And finally, he gave us a long lecture. And then we kind of were just really quiet. And then he goes, all right. Everybody else got food. Do you guys want to get some food? And I can feel the gyros just like soaking through my shirt. And I'm like, no, it's fine. We're fine. No, it's all good. No, we don't need food. We're good. So that's the first night. We get to the hotel room.
It's just the first.
It's just the first night.
I was like, where's the prank coming in?
The second night, during, I guess, the other night, or I forget the timeline of this, but at some point, the other guy's room, they decide they want to play a prank war on us. So remember Axe body spray?
Oh, yeah.
They spray it underneath our door, and there's like enough of a hole to where it's like filling up our room. And we're like, oh yeah, it's on immediately. Not even. I'm telling you this. They sprayed Axe body spray underneath our door. This is where we went to. Just the next step. You know what it was?
What?
I'd like for you to try and guess what you thought just our next step. What's the common, like, okay, they sprayed Axe body spray. What would you like do as a retaliation? Like just a next step thing.
I'd call like housekeeping or some sort of like front desk or like a bad wake up call super early.
Okay. That's not bad. That's actually like, yeah, that makes sense. We go, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to steal their room card, okay? We're going to steal their room card. Oh, my gosh. And we're going to shit in bags. And we're going to throw it in their room. So that when we're watching Wicked, it's marinating in their room. And when they get back to the room, their room smells terrible.
We see.
This is what happened. I didn't poop in the bag, if that makes you feel any better. I talked my friend and then to pooping into a bag.
I'm sure
I really shouldn't be saying their full name.
I love that. They've got lives, children, and careers.
Whatever.
I'll bleep it.
Okay, just bleep this part. Just their names of who did it.
Yeah.
So I convinced these two guys to poop in the bag. And by the way, we realized pooping in a bag, not in a toilet, smells 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how we stole their room key. Ready? It was so genius. We were so good at it. Okay. We tie up the bags. We put it in our bathroom so that because we got too excited, we pooped in the bags first rather than getting their room key first.
So you stunk up your own room a smidge.
Just the bathroom, so it's fine. So we went down to the front desk, and I go, "I am so sorry, but I forgot my room key." Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Oh, that's totally fine. What's your name?" And I said one of the names of the other people in the room, Kyle, whatever. She goes, "Do you have your ID?" And I'm like, No, we're high school students. We're here." And she's like, "Okay, well, I have security go in you into the room so you can like show them like what your stuff looks like." And I'm like, "Cool, that sounds great." And the person with me is like, "You don't know what any of the shit looks like." Right? Oh, that was my stomach. Anyway, and I'm like, "Oh, wait. Oh my God, it's right here." And I pulled out my room key and she goes, "Oh, you found it." I'm like, "I'm so sorry." And she's like, "Yeah, it's all good." So what we did is right before we go to see Wicked, we all have to meet in the lobby. Mm-hmm. What we did was we started messing around with one of the guys. Yeah. And we grabbed his key from his pocket and without him knowing. And then we were like, "Oh my God, we forgot something. Sorry, we'll be right." He's like, "Guys, we're leaving." And we're like, "We'll be right back. We'll be right back." We ran up into our room, grabbed the poop bag, ran to their room, unlocked their door, opened the bag, turned on the AC.
The AC or the heater?
Or whatever the vent is. Yeah. It was the air, whatever it is. Oh, and we opened the bag and placed it right there. But their room was a mess, so they would have never seen it right away. And so we put some stuff around it too. Oh my God. We left. And we ran into the lobby. And we were like, and we're giggling like idiots. We're giggling all the way to Wicked. We actually ruined the show for the people behind us because the whole time in Wicked, we are going like
they're like, these people love this thing, or they're finding everything just stupidly funny.
And our teacher is looking at us like, "What the fuck are you guys laughing about? Just watch the show." And anyway, we're like, sorry. And people behind us were like, "Can you be quiet, please?" We're like, sorry. And we just keep thinking about it. And we were thinking about like, what if the smell gets so bad that they have to get kicked out of their room? You know, like we were thinking of all these scenarios. And it was one of those things where anything is making you laugh at this point, right? So we go back to the hotel, right? After the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're waiting for them to call us. Like, you fuckers. 30 minutes go by, nothing. An hour goes by, nothing. We're like, okay, I don't think they found it. Maybe they think one of them is like just, I don't know.
Farting
Just
up a storm.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. We give them a call. And we're like, hey, what are you guys up to? We're bored. You guys want to hang out? They're like, yeah, we're just shooting. Somebody brought a Nerf gun. They're playing games in their room. Like, you guys want to come up? And we were like, they know it's us.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's prepare. So, like, yeah, we'll come up. Sound good. So we go up there, and they're like, what's up, guys? When they open the door, that room smelled so bad. We went, oh, man, it smells in here. And they're like, yeah, Kyle keeps farting. And poor Kyle had tears in his eyes. And he's like, it's not me, guys. And we were like, oh, we feel so bad for him, right? And we're just like looking at each other, and we're like, okay. So we're hanging out there, and we're just trying to play it cool. And we're just like, oh, we're bubbling with excitement. Finally, I get with the Nerf gun, or somebody gets the Nerf gun, and they start shooting the Nerf bullets toward the bag of poop.
Mm.
And he tells one of the guys, hey, could you
Grab that.
could you grab one of the, and he's like, yeah, sure. And I'll never forget it. The dude grabs it, and he goes, what? He grabs the bag of poop. And he looks at us, and he's like, did you guys shit in a bag? And we were like, ah! And then we, like, left.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, we were expecting them to retaliate, like, with something insane.
Yeah.
Next morning, they're like, oh, you guys got us good. And, like, we were expecting you guys to retaliate. And, like, yeah, we're not going to play with you guys, this prank war. Because,
because they know you're going to do something even stupider.
yeah. They were like, we don't want to even deal with you guys. This was insane. We shot a rifle at you, and you guys dropped an atomic bomb. And we're like, oh, yeah, that was kind of insane, I guess. Yeah, but we had a good time. I mean, we were in high school. We're idiots.
Right.
So those were the two pranks that I
Wow.
just took it too far.
I learned very quickly watching you with your friends who do pranks. I mean, there was that prank Jonte did that hilariously turned into something different because you had a stalker at the time.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. Now.
Now
Not
it's
then.
funny.
But I learned very quickly, don't prank Wesam, because I won't be ready for the prank back.
I messed up there. I go too hard.
You go too hard in the paint.
Yeah. Dang it. Imagine if I had, like, fuck you money, what I would do to people.
I know exactly what you would do to people.
You know what's some of the best pranks I would love to do?
What?
I've always wanted to do this to Jasmin Savoy Brown.
Mm.
I forget if there's some fruit she didn't like or something like that. I just wanted to send a pallet of fruit to her house.
I remember this.
Just send a pallet. Like, just the annoyance of having to deal with a pallet of fruit. Even if you're giving it away to people,
Right.
just the chore of having to deal with that.
Right.
I don't know why. I just feel it's one of my love languages, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you guys used to try and prank each other all the time. I mean, her prank where she tried to dress up as a banana, and that was her prank.
That was classic.
Classic.
That was one of the classic episodes of the show.
It's like, that's your prank?
It's terrible.
Dressing up as a banana?
Idiot. She's an idiot. All right, hold on. FaceTime with Jasmin Savoy Brown. Let's see if this will pick. Let's see if she'll pick up. She won't.
She won't.
No, she won't. Okay.
Today's a Monday. She might be filming or something.
No, she quit acting apparently.
Oh, she quit?
Yeah.
She going back to salt. Brown salt.
Oh my god, I forgot about brown salt.
Changed the Wikipedia page for a while.
Holy shit, dude. I totally forgot about Brown Salt Company.
That was a good prank. That was a lot. Like, that's the kind of fun prank because it literally got changed on Wikipedia
Yeah.
that she owned a salt company.
Oh my god. You don't know how bad I wanted to do red carpet interviews and just randomly tell people, like interviewers who don't know what's going on, be like, also, like, shout out to my co-stars, Jasmin Savoy Brown. She started a salt company. It's called Brown Salt. Oh, wow, really? Yeah. Like, you guys should ask. Like, it's really a cool thing. And just keep that going, like, with all
Down the
interviews.
chain. You
Oh
just
my
be in
God.
front of her.
And you know what's funny? If the show had continued on and was like uber successful, there probably would have been down the line some like, hey, do you want to start a salt company called?
I feel like the writers of the show would have folded something in if it
Probably.
have gotten that big.
Man, I love little pranks like that. I don't know. It's just fun. It's like childlike fun, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when it's not hurting anybody.
No.
You know, there's some pranks from back in the day, you know, with Ashton Kutcher and stuff like that kind of went a little too far.
Like what?
Justin Long with the underaged girls and the drinking.
Bro.
They tricked Taylor Swift, I think it was Taylor Swift, into thinking she killed people on a boat.
I could see how, honestly, that could be taken too far. But at the same time, because of how uber successful they are, it's like one of those things where it's like, all right, it's fine. If somebody played a joke with me like that, I'd be like, dude, you got me really good. Now I'm going to get you.
Always retaliating.
No, because it's so like you put so much work into this.
Right.
The Justin Long thing, it's so funny how each one of us would have handled that differently.
Right.
I would have been like, oh, fuck, let's get the fuck out of here. I would have been like, oh, you chicks are fucking idiots. I'm not getting in trouble for this. I'm out. Bye.
That's true. I think what made it bad was how he was trying to justify it. And, you know.
A little bit.
You're like, ah.
I could see what he was, though. Like, he was like, hey, just let's.
Right. He was trying to de-escalate the situation.
Which was fine, but it's like, yeah, maybe, I mean, he was young, too.
He was young. I think
yeah.
he was like 19 or 20.
By the way,
he was 21 at least because he was drinking, so he was 21.
I could see why he would be afraid though, because that's like a huge like scandal kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's a little different.
Yeah, that's where I'm like the line of something, especially when you're someone in the industry. Scandals, you know, if someone's not paying attention, like.
But you know, it's really funny watching people how they react in intense situations.
Oh,
like for instance, Justin Timberlake, whenever they were packing his stuff because of the IRS. And he was like, can you please not do that? Like, he was being so, like, he was getting really emotional. And the guys were just throwing boxes. And he looked like he was going to cry. And, like, you know, he was trying his best to keep it composed because he's uber famous.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think, like, what the fuck how would Tommy Lee Jones act in that moment? Like, he wouldn't give a fuck. He'd be like, you fucking. There are some people, you know what, there are some. I think people forget some celebrities are super careful about their image, which they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And then some just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
Like John Berthenol, the guy who played the Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
That dude is like someone who's like a badass. Do you know the story of the extra who took a swing at him on set?
No, I don't think I do.
He was shooting something. And he was out in public shooting it, and then they had rolled, and then he noticed this extra coming at him, and he's about to swing, and he reared his, and he's like, "Holy shit!"
Like not in the choreography type thing.
Not in the choreography. And he recognizes everybody, but he didn't recognize. For some reason, he didn't recognize, and he's like, "Oh, this dude is fucking swing. If you know what, he's gonna swing at me. I'm gonna like swing at him," and he fucking decked him.
Wow.
Just decked him, and then the guy was running from the police at that time. He was just some random guy, happened to be running away from the police, and he goes, "Man, you're a real one, dude." And yeah, and he's like, "What the fuck?" So it's always one of those things like, be careful who you fuck around with.
Right.
Theo Vaughn, you know, the comedian.
Yeah.
Somebody was also like some guy had come up to him, right, in public, and got really close to him, and Theo said some stuff to him, and the guy came back to him. And Theo put his hand on his throat and pushed him off.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, shit. See, that's where people don't have that connection. Like, hey, you don't know who you're really talking with.
Right.
You got to be careful.
Yeah.
This is not just some random person who won't, like, swing at you or hit you back.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that. People forget that so often.
Yeah.
And this goes back to me thinking this is why it's so important for people to go into martial arts and like jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, because you realize, 99.999% of arguments not worth getting physical for.
Right.
Because nobody wants to get into a real fight. If you have like a sane head about you, you don't want to get into a fight,
Right.
physical fight, because you know how much it fucking sucks. It's not fun in terms of the consequences of what happens. Even if you win, you can still lose financially, get sued. The person can die. It could be on your conscience. That person could be having the worst day of their life, and then you feel shitty, like fuck, I decked that person instead of helping them.
Right.
And so that's where I think martial arts helps you control your emotions during those things.
You know what we might also just need to bring back?
What?
People magazine. They're just like us. So people get reminded that celebrities are just like us. You don't know if they're having a good or a bad day. They have to go grocery shopping. They're just like us.
They're just like us.
They're just like us.
I hate those magazines so much. I hate them so much. What is it? Us? What is
Us
that?
Weekly, People magazine, Vogue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived in Oklahoma, and for the longest time, I thought it was called Oklahoma magazine, and I was like, "What is this? I don't get it."
What is this Oklahoma magazine about celebrities? Gossip?
And then when somebody told me like it stands for okay, and I was like, "That's even worse." Like okay.
Was there an exclamation mark at the end?
I don't know. I just feel like there should have been.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, magazines, newspapers, they're starting to die out too. I mean, they're going through a change.
Everything's evolving, man.
Yeah. I mean, we used to have a magazine subscription. It'd be like, I can't wait to see what's in next month's magazine.
Things are coming too quickly for us. There's no marination time. There's no marination time.
Well, ChatGPT just became the 5th most used website.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Okay. No, it streamlines a lot of stuff.
It does, yeah.
Even for my students, I've been helping them find scenes that are right for their archetypes. And listen, I have an extensive mental library of stuff, but I can't just pull things out of my head constantly right away. So I tell them, listen, you still have to read the script. You still have to search. But this kind of points you in the right direction of where to search rather than going through a stack of scripts and going one by one by one by one. ChatGPT goes, oh, try this one first.
I mean, it's kind of like when I was in college and stuff too. There was a new website where it was you could search. It was like a search engine just for peer-reviewed documents.
Yeah.
And that was so immensely helpful. Suddenly, instead of, having to go through and find them by yourself, you had a search engine.
Yeah.
It's just a helpful tool.
Absolutely. And speaking of like tools, and we're on the subject of this, I think you need to write down, and I've had my students log this for this coming week. How many hours are you actually putting into your craft and your career a week? So every day you log in your hours.
Yeah.
And if the week goes by and you are only logging like 10 hours or 5 hours, that is nothing. It really is not enough time. This is for the person who has time. And I'm going to expand on this right after our commercial break. And we're back. So take it this way. If you practice basketball 5 hours a week.
Just 5 hours a week?
Just 5 hours a week. An hour a day of basketball. And you don't do any kind of supplemental training with that. I don't think, like, in comparison to like an NBA player, you will never, ever get anywhere to competition level.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You couldn't even play as a strong, what's it called? Like a strong player for like a recreational tournament, unless you have some like God-given talents.
Right.
You need to be practicing at least a couple hours a day, plus working out, maybe watching some game tape daily. So that 5 hours a week is actually 5 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then notice how much more exponentially you're going to get better.
Right.
And it's just a repetition thing. And this is like the magic and the key to success is repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Repetition is tedious. It's boring at times. But if you can get over that, you can get lost in it. And what do I mean by this? You stop thinking and you just are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the magic part of it is this. You start finding the most streamlined way in doing it that fits for you.
Right.
So, shooting free throws for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine doing that for an hour? How good you would be?
Didn't LeBron James? He would do that, right?
A lot of
like,
basketball players
I
would
know
go in
there
there
was
and just shoot.
Someone on one of the teams, and
Yeah.
he would stay, and everyone else would just go.
Well, for I mean, a lot of players, a lot of the top players do that nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean,
This was like
Kobe
a long
Bryant.
time ago.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant did that. But like for me, in theater, why so many of these new actors who come in are not getting it is because they don't understand the value of the repetition. Because I come from a theater background.
Yeah.
And with theater, you're running the show.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. When I did Hamlet in college, I was lucky enough to get the script and to book the role 3 months before we started rehearsals. I'm telling you, every day for 3 months, my face was in that book.
Right.
Going over lines. I think the first day of rehearsal, I was pretty much off book completely.
That's great. Yeah.
And I can't tell you the amount of freedom you have as an actor being 100% off book the first day of rehearsal for 6 weeks before you put it on air, put it on stage. Man, the freedom you have, then you can start the work.
Yep.
It's like the saying goes, whenever you get your black belt in something, then your training really begins, because now you know your instrument, you know the techniques, you know the rules, you know now when to break them.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Then you can be creative. Then you can do this. And again, I'm going to go back to jiu-jitsu here and why I love martial arts, because it's so challenging and because your body has a peak in which it will perform at its very best. That's not to say you can't do it well in your 40s or 50s or even 60s, but you have to adapt to what your body's changing and what you're doing to your body and what you're putting into your body at the same time. And the consequences for not doing the technique right in jiu-jitsu, it's a lot more physically, the punishment is, you feel it physically.
Yeah.
Versus in acting class, if you're trying something and it doesn't work, that's it. That's okay. Try it again. And I'm trying to explain that to my students, and some of them are getting it, and they're becoming more fearless with that. I think some of the best improvements I've seen with students in the class are the ones who have been super shy and scared, now are taking chances. And
That's
I'm like,
great. Yeah.
it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding.
I
It's really
always
nice.
loved that last weekend, not because it was over, but it felt like you could finally really, you've performed it so long. It was always the best weekend, you know? And then you're like, if I could just have 2-3 more weekends.
Yeah. I had a similar van regret for Hamlet that I'll never forget.
Oh, yeah?
Could never get the scene in the library with him and, oh my gosh, what is it? The woman he loves, where he tells her, get thee to a nunnery. Ophelia.
Ophelia.
And there was something about that scene that I'm like, I haven't nailed it. I haven't 100% understood it. Almost there, but not quite. I remember it was like a couple weeks after the show closed. I'm sitting in one of my classes for some college class, and then it hits me. And I go, oh, man. Like, I realized there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Never forget that. It just goes to show you could do something like 1,000 times and still find things new.
You know, I haven't, I don't know, I said I haven't. I sometimes like to see a revival of a cast
Oh.
because they've had time and distance. and then they come back, and then it's the same cast, and they're doing the same thing, and it's different, obviously. But I always think, I wonder how different it is, because they've had those moments where they're sitting there and they go, ah, shit, I definitely should have done that instead. Like, I love a good revival sometimes.
Yeah. Before we end today's episode, any current events that are worth noting?
We're not that close yet.
Okay. Well,
The way you said that made me like think about time.
I know, but the show's coming. I mean, somewhat soon.
Yes.
I just want to know.
Sorry, you threw me for a loop because I wasn't.
I like throwing you for a loop.
You did throw me for a loop.
I'm gonna throw you for a double loop. Ready?
Hmm.
No, that's it. That I was gonna.
That's it?
Yeah. That was just the single loop.
Versant. Have you heard of Versant? So Versant, I hope I'm saying that right, is basically cable's dying. It's going to be sci-fi. It's going to be Discovery. It's going to be all those little nuanced channels from Comcast, and they're going to be put to a streaming / different service. And Comcast said, we'll carry you for a year or two, and then you're on your own. So they're cutting strings
With
all those little itty bitty TV shows, channels.
So I wonder where they're gonna go. Are they gonna go to like a website like Vimeo, for instance?
Well, that's the Versant thing. So Comcast is gonna cover them for a while, right? By putting them to this thing. But once that's over, they're gonna have to be individually bought, individually funded.
Wow.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Warner Brothers, all them, they're just getting rid of the dead weight, including CNN. CNN is on the chopping block from being with Warner Brothers.
Hey, I will say this. It's crazy to think the live viewership numbers for CNN versus YouTube channels.
Yeah.
You're like, oh. And listen, I get it. Views can be fudged a little bit, but even their engagement on the comments are so much more than the viewership. And it's like, whoa. I don't know. I was thinking about this with Isaiah. Like, do we put our show that we're trying to sell by ourselves on some kind of channel like this on YouTube and stuff? But I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, shows like the Law and Order, the Chicago Fire series, these like kind of procedural stuff are still going so strong. They have millions and millions and millions of viewers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna clarify. So we've got USA, Sci-Fi, Oxygen, E, MSNBC, CNBC, Fandango.
They might go to YouTube only, like online only.
Yeah.
That's possible. Or like someplace. Well, CNN has that huge building in LA.
Oh, ginormous.
So then I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah. If your news channels aren't bringing you in what used to be a lot of money, they have to keep thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do it. Put your back into it. I don't know why that song
they're
came in my
focused
head.
on live content. Live content is such a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. That's
all I've got.
That's all you. Dude, it's been a slow.
What about the possibility of the reality TV show to get your visa, your green card, your citizenship?
Dude, we are every single week we are closer to the movie Idiocracy.
Yes.
I don't know what to say to that. That's terrible.
That's the kind of shit you see on a comedy show, a parody. Like,
yes.
That's not real life. That's not real life. And if that becomes real life, how close are we to something like, not as bad, but like the Hunger Games and shit like that? Like
that's what I mean. You're absolutely right. That's the first steps towards those kind of things.
It's so stupid.
We're
going to be real life purging soon.
You take people's pain and suffering and their livelihoods, and you're televising it for entertainment, where people have that disconnect where it's like, whoa, where's the empathy in this?
Yeah. It's a lot of lack of empathy in the world right now.
It's the same. Listen, I will. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I was about to like go off on reality TV a little bit, and then I realized, I work with someone who's in it, so I shouldn't say anything.
I think there's a time and a place for reality TV. I don't like things like Real Housewives. I don't like things of any of that nature because I feel like it's dumbed down our society.
Yeah.
I feel like Love Island and Jersey Shore and all this stuff, it just romanticizes bad behavior. And I miss people being polite and kind and things not being about them, and we're not all the main characters. You're the main character of your life, for sure. Live like that. But you're not the main character in the grocery store. You're not the main character in the bar. Everyone there is living their life. And I'm really, 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 really sick and tired of people just going out and behaving like they're the only person that exists. And I feel like reality TV and some of this stuff has just exacerbated that.
You know what I would do? I like following the account Joey Swoles.
Oh, I love Joey Swole. Yeah.
He really calls people out for the main character syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they post something and they're in a locker room and they're the ones in the wrong, and they start making it something about race or something that's not associated with what they're doing wrong. And he really calls them out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that he's trying to show people like this is inappropriate behavior, and he clearly states why it's inappropriate
Mm-hmm.
behavior. He's had a handful of people like apologize for it and like make amends, and I'm like, oh cool, they're trying to be better. That's great. Majority of them don't. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
They get called out and they dig in deeper to where they're at. If I was emperor, I mean, we haven't brought this in a while,
Right.
but the idea of like you're on a subway, right, and you're filming yourself doing stuff, that's one thing. And then you're filming people's reactions going, can you believe this person looked at me this way? It's like, now you get to live in the subway. How about that? Oh, you want to do that? Guess what? You're living in the subway. You know the subway tracks? That's where you sleep. You sleep right next to the subway tracks now.
That's funny.
I don't know what it is. It's willful ignorance,
Mm-hmm.
willful lack of empathy, or they're just ignorant and dumb. Which, by the way, it's okay to be
Absolutely.
ignorant and dumb.
Yes.
Just
Learn.
and that's the thing. How do they learn? You need life experiences. You need to be woken up. And I think that's where, like, when you mess up on something or somebody calls you out,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so important to go, whoa. Where's this person coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Am I really doing something bad?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to reflect on myself. I'm having an emotional reaction to this. And you know what? Let me get all the facts straight. Let me meditate on this before I respond
Yeah.
back. But that takes a lot of emotional maturity, which I don't think
We're not
people
there
dev-
anymore. But you know what? And I think we've seen this in the industry, and I guess we'll finish up on this, is you can't be surrounded by yes mans. You need your no man. You need your that's stupid, that's bad, that's not how
challenge
you
you.
behave.
Yeah.
Whether that comes from your parents, a friend, your manager, your agent, anyone who can just be a guide for you. Because there's too many people who go, yeah, man, that's a great idea.
I'll share this with you.
Yeah.
And we'll end it on
Yeah.
this. I live with my brother, William.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to talk to him about things that are uncomfortable, but I was like, I have to tell him this because I love him as a brother, and I'm his older brother, and I've been living life more than him. And so I'm like, hey, I'm seeing some dangers on this path that you're in. Can you help clarify me with what your game plan is? Because I don't want you making the same mistakes I made. And so, okay, that's what your game plan is. Okay, I think that's good. I think this won't work. I think you're really selling yourself short for these areas, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I feel like I have to say, hey, this is coming from a place of love because I care about you, and I'm worried that you're not living up to your potential or something or whatever it is. And I'm so glad I have that relationship with my brothers where we can, all three of us, be open with each other like that. If someone is not doing something right, hey, we call them out. And it's uncomfortable sometimes, but we always end it with, we love each other. This is why we came to you with it. If we didn't care, we wouldn't have said this.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is nice, and it's taken some time to get there, but like with anything, you need to do maintenance on any kind of machine, and you need to do maintenance on relationships as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks. We'll be right back. No, we won't, because the show's over. All right, play us out, Alex. Thanks, guys, for tuning into the show. Really appreciate you. Another episode of Wesam's World in the bank. If you enjoy the show, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. That means a lot. Join the Wesam's World family. Thanks for those listeners who tune in live every Thursday. Make sure you follow us on all social media for some updates. We got some fun stuff, and we're bringing back guests in the next few weeks once we solidify all that. Other than that, always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.